Hey guys, so today we're talking about patterns. Oftentimes we start developing patterns similarly to habits because it's something that we've been taught or something that we've grown up in, or even when we make a shift in our life, it can be something that we start developing over time. And something that is really important to recognize is when those patterns start having a negative impact on our lives. And then you can actually make a shift in how you're going to respond in the future. So today we're going to be talking about some steps that you can take to start making those shifts when those patterns are a little bit more negative. So the first step is recognition. So being able to recognize when you're actually making a pattern in your life. It's something, again, similarly to habits, when you develop it over time, and it can be out of your response to certain situations, or something that you do on the daily, or just different things that you notice that you're doing more often. And being able to recognize it honestly is the first step, even if it's before or after a certain situation. A lot of times it will be after, just because it's something that you've been used to for so long. But being able to recognize it allows you to understand if you want to keep doing it or if you want to actually make a shift. And for the second one, it's really being able to take time to process and being able to really understand kind of the impact that those actions are making. Even if it's good stuff, recognizing those good patterns as well. But oftentimes just being able to reflect and understand what patterns you're making, why you responded the way that you did, and really digging into kind of where that stems from can be really helpful when you're actually making that shift. So the third one is being able to shift your response and knowing how you want to respond in the future, even if you write it down, and figuring out what those trigger moments are, the different situations that you respond in that way, and writing down like how you want to respond in the future is so important so that you can tangibly have an idea of how you want to respond to something in the future. And that way you can actually commit to that. And the fourth one is commitment and persistence. So when you have these patterns or these habits that you've developed over time, it's going to take time to shift those. It's not a one and done kind of deal. And so when you're tackling these different situations, figuring out how you want to respond to those in the future and committing to those over time is where those patterns start making those shifts. And something that I want to encourage you guys in is being able to even find an accountability partner, especially for the harder things. It's so important to have someone that you can talk to and process through those things and figuring out how you want to respond differently in the future. Celebrate those moments that you actually respond well in that. It's so important. And so that is really helpful along that process because it's going to take time. And this last little bit that I wanted to go into was having grace in this process, but stick with it. It takes a lot of discipline to be able to break those patterns and make those shifts in your life. But sticking with it, honestly, is what makes it work. And so if you mess up, having grace, but don't give up on it. It is something that you're going to have to work hard at, and you're going to have to hunker down and just do it. And so I just want to encourage you guys, when you're making those shifts in your life, to be able to stick with it in the future is what makes it happen. And those are the main things to help shift those patterns. Obviously, it's going to look differently for every pattern, every habit that you have, and how deep that those are ingrained or how big those are. It's going to look differently. And so, again, bringing in those outside perspectives is really good. And so, yeah, those are how to break those patterns. I would love to hear what you guys do when you are tackling those different patterns, so comment them below. Give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and I'll be seeing you guys next week. Bye!